welcome to another exciting episode of Cooking Around the World with our isolation series. This is actually a supplemental recipe to one that I did recently, which was the Japanese, like an egg pancake, egg omelette style thing, Japanese omelette, which was chicken, chive and egg on rice, which is called a donburi or a don. In Japanese restaurants you might have seen recipes, the katsudon. The don is short for donburi, which is just on rice. So you get a little chicken or pork, whatever, on a rice dish. And that one last week, we actually used this product, a miso product, and this is Dashi miso, which has the bonito flake, the fish flake, and seaweed already cooked into the, or blended into the miso paste. Bit of a racket going on out the back there. Just one moment, please. Excuse us, folks. Sorry. So professional, aren't we? Right, I haven't even got a recipe for this one that I might add one when we get it online, but this is just off the top of my head. Generally, what I'm going to do is, in that recipe, we actually had a miso dressing, which I said was just so close to a miso soup. And you can so easily make miso, if you're into miso soup at the Japanese restaurant, this is so close. And it's just using miso paste. A traditional miso soup will use the dashi stock, and dashi stock being made from bonito, fish flake, shiitake, mushrooms and seaweed. Thanks, Deb. Boiled up together to make a stock. And then they add the miso paste to it. So that's the basis of it. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to make a very simple, and this is a very simple my take on a miso soup. Miso soup generally is being the miso paste, water or stock, some seaweed. They're quite often using wakame seaweed. I'm just going to use the dried flat seaweed sheets that you use for making sushi rolls. Some chives, some spring onions, and I'm going to pimp mine a little bit just to take a little bit further, add a little bit more depth of flavour by adding a dash of cooking sake. If you haven't got cooking sake, if you have Chinese cooking wine, Shaoxing wine, you can use it just a dash. Just adds a little dash of depth of flavour to it. A little bit of light soy sauce, just a dash, and I'm going to add just a tiniest little bit of brown sugar to it also, and just helps to add a little depth of flavour to our soup. Just taking it a little bit beyond traditional soup, or the miso soup, but let's give it a go. And of course we have to have our tofu, our soft tofu block. This is the very soft one. It's like a set custard, not the hard block. This is the very soft tofu. So what I'm going to start with, I'll just boil some water. I'm only going to do a small one for us today. We don't have many takers for miso soup in the house. Do we like miso soup, Deb?
Probably not.
That's a not. That's a no. Okay, we're going to add 2 cups. I've just pre-boiled this water so I can get it going really quickly. 2 cups. Most recipes will tell you 1 cup of water to 1 tablespoon of miso paste. I find that just makes the hair stand up on the back of my neck. It is so strong. So I take it a heaped teaspoon of miso paste to a cup of water, and then you can adjust it from there to your liking. If it's too mild for you, you can add a bit more. This is where the soy comes in, add a dash of soy. If it's too strong, add a bit more water and just dilute it a bit. So what we're going to do, I've got 2 cups of water, so I'm going to use 2 teaspoons of miso paste. Remember, this is only because I could find this one, the dashi miso paste, which has that dashi stock in it. If you can't find it, just buy white miso, which you can get the white miso paste in little bags from Coles and Woolworths supermarkets, and it's just the one that's that colour. because you can get a dark one, you can get a red coloured one, which is a stronger flavour, which will really make your toes curl. But this is just really simple so far. And I'm just going to get that boiling. It certainly is. I'll turn it down a little bit. Very quickly, we'll prepare a few other things for this. Use a sheet of this. So this is sushi style seaweed, thin flat sheets. You can get the thicker seaweed if you like, but I just find this is really easy to use and it softens very quickly in the boiling water. We don't need any more than that. And this will add that ocean, that taste of the ocean to our miso soup. Seaweed, after all. Add it to our boiling water. We're also going to add some spring onion to the flavour. And we'll use more of the white part, cut very finely, because we want to impart flavour. We don't want big chunks of onion in there. We'll just cut it finely and it'll just impart its flavour more faster than big chunks. Okay, just don't need to put too much in. And so we're only doing two cups here. And that will immediately, we're going to have the seaweed and the spring onions just adding a little bit of flavour to our miso soup now. Just keep that handy, keep the miso handy just in case I need to add a little bit more. I'm going to turn it down, it is boiling like crazy here. Just want to take it down to a bit of a simmer. You know, look at that. Just a little bit of a simmer, and you only need to simmer it for about 4 to 5 minutes. That's all. That'll soften the seaweed, bring the flavour out of the spring onions, and just mix it all up nicely with the miso paste. Now, what I'm going to do is taking it just that little step further. Firstly, I'll get a fresh spoon. I'll give that a little taste. See how that's going so far. Tastes nice and seaweedy. I taste the ocean in there. I'm going to add just a touch more miso. These are sort of dishes like this. I prefer to do it by taste. If you don't want it too strong, you want it weaker, however you like, just do it by taste. So I'm going to stir that little bit extra miso into that. Believe me, once you try it, you'll know what the miso tastes like. If you had miso soup in a restaurant before, as soon as you taste this, you'll go, yep, I remember that. Now I'm going to add just a teaspoon of light soy sauce. Because I didn't add so much miso to begin with, I said it's very salty. That's the Japanese use miso paste as a flavouring. It's like using stock cubes as we do, using chicken stock or beef stock. They'll add the miso paste for their stock. So just a little bit of soy, just to bring up the flavour a bit. And this is my touch. I'm going to add just a little bit of the cooking sake, just because of booze. Just a teaspoon in there. And just to increase that depth of flavour and take a little bit of the saltiness off the whole thing, I'm going to add just a teaspoon of brown sugar. This is actually grated palm sugar. You can just use brown sugar, you can use white sugar if you like, but the palm sugar gives it a touch more of a caramelly style, that's lovely, caramelly style flavour. There we go. So increase the colour a little bit too, makes it a little bit browner. I'm just going to give that a few moments to simmer off. Slice up a few of these to sprinkle on top. Bit of a garnish. And we'll prepare right here our... They have to be very careful when we're working with the tofu. This is a very soft tofu, as I said, it's like custard. So we just very, very gently spring onion off that. Very gently. It'll all just break up on you, which is not a problem. Just chuck it all in anyway. Starting to break up on my fingers now. That one piece is getting to me. Now just go. Just little cubes. Okay. Pop that in. Just towards the end of cooking. You don't want to cook this too hard, otherwise it will break up. Do a final stir through. All we're doing now is just warming that up. I'll just check one of our pieces of seaweed, just to make sure it's one. Softened up for us. Add just a dash more soy. Okay, there we go. Now this is just the way I do it. If you go online, you can find hundreds of recipes for miso soup. Most of them are quite similar. You get the odd one with variations, and one of the variations I saw was to add a dash, a huge slug, I think they said, of light soy sauce, just to suit your flavour, suit your taste. Bit of dressing on the top. There we have it, miso soup. Nice and simple. I've actually had this as a breakfast, and it's a nice, simple, light breakfast. Plenty of flavour to it. The tofu just helps to fill you a little bit. Just if you don't want a heavy breakfast, great idea. Or as a precursor to a meal, an entree. Thanks very much. See you next time.